How do you feel about group projects?
I think there's too many of them, and groups, like, not everybody does all the work, so certain people are left doing all the work.
I think they're good. I think it can sometimes be stressful working with other people because they might not have the same work style as you do, and you don't know how well they know the information that you're trying to work with.
Personally, I really don't like them. I really don't enjoy having to carry other people's weight in a project.
Well, they're alright. It can be a little overwhelming when you get a bunch of them at the end of the semester though.
It can be frustrating to work hard to fairly distribute the work, especially when there's not a set leader of the group. But at the same time, it's necessary because.
What do you think the number of problems is with a group project? Has there ever been any obstacles that you preventing you from performing good in a group project?
If certain people in the groups don't get everything they need done.
Professors, when they oh, it's a group project, they tend to assign a disproportionate amount of work just because it's a group assignment.
Schedules and people who don't do their work.
Yeah, the people who are there to socialize and not actually do the project.
I think miscommunication or lack of communication is the number one problem because once.
Definitely the social loafing aspect when one person doesn't do what they're going to say they're going to do, and then the rest of us have to pick up on it. I had a team member do a whole different project than what we were supposed to do, and he was wondering why the teacher was asking him what it had to do with the rest of it.
And communication between the members outside of the class. And then concentrating your efforts. If you do something and then he does something, and he does something, and then if you change something that he's working on. So now that the things like Dropbox is getting a little bit easier.
And what is one thing you like about them?
When you get a good group and we work well together, it makes the whole experience a lot easier than it would have been than if you had done it alone.
The idea of spreading the workload among people, although it doesn't usually happen, it's a good idea.
One thing I like about them is that everybody could showcase their individual strengths and individual expertise in different issues. So
it's one and done. You sit down one time, most of the time at least, and then the entire project is done.
That has never happened with me.
I think the biggest benefit is that students, the most practical benefit is that students have to learn how to work with people.
And what do you think is the best way to deal with difficult team members or team members who are slacking?
Punch them in the face.
Just kidding. I think sometimes speaking to your professor usually helps. Well, in extreme cases, but just letting them know that they're really not doing their part and being honest about it, not being cruel or violent. But
probably just communicate better. It's a tough call. Depends on the person. Some people might get offended. So sometimes you don't want to talk to your teacher.
Sometimes you just have a weak member, and that's that. You just help them, as far as a less skilled member, and you just got to help them along the best you can and deal with it.
Well, first, you try to work with them and try to send them emails, make sure they're on track, make sure you're helping them remind them. But if it gets to the point where they're just not doing anything, pretty much you tell the instructor, okay, they are not pulling their weight, we still have a couple weeks out of this, we'll finish it, but just so you know, they're not doing anything, and we're trying. But that's how, yeah.
It's let's meet at such and such a time, and I had class then I couldn't meet with them, which then made me look like the slacker.
How do you get motivated to do your own part in group projects?
I think just knowing that the grade depends on what work I put into it, especially with teachers who do individual grades along with group grades. It kind of gets you to okay, I want that A, so I got to do this.
Nobody wants to let down their group members, so as long as you're clear about who's doing what, I've never had a problem with it.
Life is about working with others. We are a social species. If you want to succeed in the workforce, maybe there are some jobs out there where you can just sort of sit by yourself and work alone. Most jobs require you to work with others.